Hi there, this is Solitude from Solitude Films, and welcome to another random review. Today's random review is The Naked Island by Kaneto Shindo from 1960, starring Nobuka Otawa, Taji Tonoyama, amongst others. This is the Eureka Masters of Cinema DVD, spine number 12. It's actually a very good release. It has an introduction by Alex Cox, who's always good, and it has a full-length commentary by Kaneto Shindo and composer Hikaru Hayashi, and it also has a nice booklet. Again, I think this is available in Region A Criterion Blu-ray, which at some point I'll have to pick up. It's 93 minutes long in black and white. Shindo kind of came onto the scene with Children of Hiroshima, but he's probably more famous for his period horror films Onibaba and Kuroneko. He was an assistant of Mizoguchi, as most Japanese directors of a certain age were. They were assistants first and then they became full-time directors themselves. Shindo was born in Hiroshima in 1912 and he died in Hiroshima in 2012. He died at the ripe old age of 100, and he made a film in 2010, so he was still making films in his 90s. I haven't seen that many of them, but The Naked Island is practically a silent film. It has a score, there is some dialogue, but it's pretty much a visual poem. Shindo was a communist, so his films were generally political. This one could be seen just as a celebration of workers and farmers, but it's not really that overtly political. At the start of the film you think it's a period piece, but it's actually contemporary. It follows this husband and wife and their 2 sons who live on this island and they farm it to be able to sell what they produce, strangely enough, back on the mainland, to buy clothes, to have a decent meal in a restaurant, to go up in a cable car. It's kind of simple pleasures. It's because it's an island and it's surrounded by salt water. To water the plants, they have to get water from the mainland and bring it up the hill onto the island to actually where the crops are, and this becomes a really tense, dramatic scene of them carrying 2 barrels at a time up this hill. And the way Shindo shoots it, it's actually more dramatic than your average car chase in films. He just cuts it so well. So this becomes a ritual. Everything's a ritual in the film. Watering the plants, getting the water, the small moments of joy that the family can have together, the small moments of relaxation when they're having a bath. It's kind of the little things. So you're kind of thinking, okay, this is fair enough, but then as you watch the film, it does become more moving, or at least did to me. It's the kind of film that you wish you were a psychopath because you didn't have feelings. Because it is profoundly moving. And then at one point in the film, one of the boys gets sick, and that kind of changes the dynamic of the film as well. Again, very much like the random review of Christ Stopped at Bolly that I did recently. It's kind of difficult to put your finger on why this film is so good and why it works, because again, it's practically silent. Again, there's repeated actions, there's repeated shots, but it looks absolutely stunning. Hopefully one day I will pick up in Blu-ray, because there's just beautiful shots. Even when the characters are working, they're usually in the backdrop of the sea or the sky. It's one of the best films about our relationship with nature and the power of nature, the passing of seasons and what that means to people. It's a beautiful, beautiful film, and again, it will make you pause and think about your own life, as far as, you know, having quote unquote first world problems and complaining, you know, because your 5G on your phone fell down to 4G or something, you know, or your broadband goes a little bit weird. You know, this film gives you some kind of perspective about, you know, what hard work really is. You know, sitting in an office and pinging emails to people isn't necessarily that hard work, but we all kind of complain about our own little problems, but sometimes in the big picture our problems don't really mean that much. It's just so well done in the sense that, like I say, you believe at the start of the film that it's a medieval film, it's a period picture, but then you actually realise, no, there is civilization on the mainland. You know, the scene where they have enough money to actually have a meal in a restaurant at a table is quite moving, and they take the kids up a cable car to see the whole bay. It's quite beautiful. The ending and the start of the film are both helicopter shots, so again you feel, you know, you're looking down on these people again in the landscape. They are essentially nothing more than ants. Again, it's another film about how, in the grand scheme of things, in the eye of nature, we're not really very important at all. But again, we think we're really important, but we're not really. Like I said before, we're not really any more important than a blade of grass. But try telling people that. Again, there's not a lot to discuss about the film. As far as plot, not much happens apart from one of the boys gets ill. It's just quite beautiful, and again, it's the power of cinema. It goes back to that debate about books being better than films or films being better than books. Personally, I don't think if The Naked Island was a book, it would have the same profound effect. But it's just my personal opinion. As I have no imagination, I kind of prefer films because I kind of trust filmmakers' imaginations more than mine. And certainly, if The Naked Island was a book, I don't think it would have the same kind of effect that it does when you're actually watching these beautiful images and the struggle of these people. Again, you don't feel pity for them. It's more just they're struggling, and it gives you perspective on your own life, pretty much. I mean, it is a U certificate, but it is a hard U, because like I say, it'll give you feelings, which is always dangerous. So thanks very much for watching this very brief random review. Again, I'm not going to go through every scene, and it's just a film you should really check out. Again, at one point I'll probably try and pick up the Criterion Blu-ray, because it is one of those films that probably higher definition would do it even more justice. Again, the print on the Eureka DVD is not bad. It's actually quite good. But again, for the vistas of just characters against sky or sea, there's a beautiful scene at night with fireworks, which is quite stunning. So I would highly recommend checking out The Naked Island if you haven't before. Again, Shindo's more famous for Onibaba and Kuroneko. Yeah, so let me know if you've seen The Naked Island, what you think of it, and hopefully you'll join me again for more random reviews. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying cheerio.